Hello everyone and welcome to another video, and my very first in a new series I like to call Saturday Morning Comics, where I'll be looking at comic books based on animated series or comics that are more towards children. Today I want to talk about Justice League Infinity, and as always we'll start off by checking out the covers. Justice League Infinity was a 7 issues miniseries written by James Tucker and J.M. DeMatteis, who of course worked on Justice League Unlimited. James Tucker was the producer and J.S. DeMatteis was a writer on that series. So of course Infinity here acts as a sequel to the animated series with art by Ethan Beavers. The covers here are done by different artists. Here we have issue number 3 done by Dan Mora, and I absolutely love Dan Mora. I think he's one of the best, if not the best, artists that DC has right now. Issue number 4 here with Darkseid and Wonder Woman kissing. We'll get more into that later, but man, what a nice callback to the 70s animated series. Absolutely loved it. Very weird. And like I said, we get a lot of different artists with these covers. Kind of a shame because we will see Ethan Beavers does an amazing job with the interior art. So, as I said, a 7 issues miniseries. Here we have issue number 6 and finally issue number 7. So, Justice League Infinity, a sequel to the Justice League Unlimited animated series, starts off fittingly with Amazo traveling the universe trying to find his purpose. He also finds this, let's call it room, filled with cracked mirrors. Of course, the whole series is called The Cracked Mirror. And by the way, here we have the credits for the people that worked on this series: J.M. DeMatteis and James Tucker, the writers, Ethan Beavers, the artist, and shout out to Nick Filardi as the colorist. We'll see he does an amazing job. So Amazo, trying to find his purpose, is not the only one doing that, because back on Earth we see John Johns, the Martial Manhunter, having left the Justice League to travel the world to find himself. It's a really nice side story, although it doesn't last all that long. And finally we see the Justice League throwing a birthday party for the Flash, and like I said, Ethan Beavers, an amazing job with the interior art. Absolutely great callback to that Bruce Timm Justice League Unlimited style, but also, I mean, we can see here it's a bit more kid friendly. You know, look at the Superman and Wonder Woman. It does retain that, again, that Bruce Timm style, but I don't know, it does seem made more towards kids, and I really like that. And again, the colors, absolutely gorgeous. So again, this was supposed to be a kids series, and we just see the Justice League here having a party, but of course they can't have all that much fun because they're being attacked, and again, the art by Ethan Beavers and the colors here just working so well together. Just look at this page here. Absolutely gorgeous. The Justice League fighting Granny Goodness. Amazo fighting himself, actually. And back to the Justice League, we'll see Granny Goodness isn't the only threat to them, as they're also attacked by Darkseid's rightful heir, as he calls himself. And again, this really is or wants to be a sequel to the Justice League Unlimited, because we do get Granny Goodness and Kelly back here fighting the Justice League, but also amongst themselves, because after Darkseid left Apocalypse in the Unlimited animated series, these guys just fight for the right to rule that planet. Mr. Miracle coming up with a great, simple plan of sending all of them back to their planet, and that's it. The day is saved. Again, a great first issue. Really acted as just another episode of the Justice League Unlimited, and it was just amazing seeing that series come back, especially in a comics form. I mean, I absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, that's kind of where my praise for this series ends, because after the first issue, things get way too complicated, and honestly, it's gonna be kind of a mess. Because starting with issue 2, we get the actual story arc for the Justice League Infinity series, and we get the multiverse introduced into this series. So Amazo still in the cracked mirror room, fighting with a voice in his head, fighting with himself actually, and we will see that this cracked mirror room is actually what starts off the multiverse madness. So we saw the first issue ending with that evil Superman changing place with our Earth Superman, and we see Clark Kent here transported into that evil guy's world, and it's weird. I mean, of course, the old animated series have tackled the Nazi regimes taking over, and they did an awesome job with that. Here, however, we see Superman transported into this world ruled by Vandal Savage, we'll see later on, and he created, of course, another Nazi regime. But here we see Nazi supporters fighting Antifa, and it's kind of current politics pushed down, and it's I'm not gonna say, oh, too much politics in comics, but it's weird because if you use common sense and detach yourself from the current madness, you will understand that in an actual regime, whether it be Nazi or whatever, these guys wouldn't have the right to protest or fight amongst themselves. This is just Americans being bored. Come on, it's so stupid. But of course, Superman is better than that, and he does try to make peace. Of course, Vandal Savage isn't alone in this universe. he also has the help of Brainiac. Really cool robot here, but we will see he's no match for Superman. Just like, I don't know, I want to say Lois Lane isn't any match for the evil Superman, but she actually holds her own, and it's really nice to see. Of course, I mentioned in the previous issue, John Jones was traveling the Earth trying to find himself. Well, bigger things are at stake here, and he decides to join the Justice League again. And again, here we get really into the multiverse stuff. The evil Superman fighting Justice League on our Earth, and our Superman fighting Brainiac on that Earth X. And of course, the Nazi army here trying to stop him. That would be nice, but I mentioned that the series takes a very wrong turn, and I don't want to talk about that. We get this multiverse stuff introduced here, and it's way too much for a kids series. The whole point of the animated series was that it was simple, you know? I mean, you could jump into any episode and it would have been alright. Nothing all that complicated. Well, this whole 7 issues miniseries is just one story, and honestly, by issue 5, I was zoning out hard. I mean, it was just boring and just drumming the same, hitting the same drum. I don't know what the expression is, but you get my point. It went on for way too long. One thing that I liked, here we see the resistance to Vandal Savage, General Abraham Zadetsa, General Zod, and he's joined by Doomsday and Metallo, and I really liked that callback. Again, really weird, but pretty awesome. And speaking of nice, weird callbacks, issue number 4 here, Darkseid and Wonder Woman kissing on the cover. If you enjoyed the 70s animated series, you'll love this. It doesn't actually mention it, but come on, it's that. So, I mentioned the multiverse. Throughout the series, we get to see Justice League members changing places with their counterparts from other universes, and while we actually only get like 4 universes, it still becomes way too much, and the series gets to be way too convoluted. I mean, here's what I mean. This was supposed to be way more simple than it actually turned out. Again, the animated series was just pick up and go. Every episode was kind of its own story, and you got it. Here, it's all over the place. Issue number 4 here is actually the only one that acts as a standalone episode, and honestly, it's my favorite of the bunch, exactly for that reason. And just reading the story of this Darkseid with his Wonder Woman, it really made for an awesome issue. And again, callbacks to the original animated series, absolutely great. This whole 7 issue miniseries should have been just this. Each issue focused on one single story, and it would have been way better. Again, especially if we'd gotten endings like the ending to this issue. Again, I really, I won't be able to recommend this whole series, but this issue here, it was absolutely wonderful. Really great stuff. Too bad, again, it's just for one issue. And then we get back to the multiverse madness. Here we see a Justice League from Earth D, I guess, and it's kind of the diversity hires, and they actually play a pretty big role, and it's like, I don't care for any of that. Just give me the classic Justice League and have them get on adventures together. Stop messing with it. Keep it simple, stupid. And by the final issue, we really get into the Amazo story arc, and things get really crazy. And again, with this multiverse stuff, with how things turned out, I think it's way too complicated. Not in a, oh, I can't follow it. Of course, you can follow the storyline, but way too complicated in the sense that it's just too much. There's another thing actually that I wanna complain about. There's just so much talking, man. Seriously, I mentioned that by issue 5 I was zoning out. I just couldn't do it. I mean, it was so much talking. Shut up and go with the series. Do stuff, but no, they just talked. However, listen, I honestly could complain about this for a long time. However, the final issue here, how they ended it, how they resolved all the multiverse problems. If you were a fan of the Teamverse, of course you are a fan of the Batman and Wonder Woman relationship. And man, for these fans, this last issue, it was amazing. It honestly was. Despite all my complaints, the way they end up, the way Wonder Woman and Batman manage to take their relationship to such an amazing level. I mean, this was great. And for that, yes, this series is worth it. Issue number 1, great stuff. Issue number 4, great stuff. The way they resolved everything with Wonder Woman and Batman taking center stage was worth it. However, again, this was a 7 issues miniseries, and between all these 3 issues, we get this stuff, and this was just so annoying, so much. It was way too convoluted, and again, they didn't. It honestly felt like they forgot the sense of the original animated series. Of course, they also tie in the Jon Stewart and Hawkgirl relationship, and again, for fans of the animated series, this ending should be worth it. It's just a shame that to get here we had to just slog through so much nonsense. Again, the evil Superman, of course, paying his dues by the end. I did enjoy that. And ending just like the animated series did, with the Justice League going on new adventures. Again, the ending to this was really good, especially if you are a fan of Batman and Wonder Woman. Issue 4 was really good. The first issue was amazing, but again, the fact that we had 4 other issues between these good ones, uh, Justice League Infinity is a hard recommend. I don't know. Check it out if you really want to see more Justice League Unlimited. But honestly, um, just go back and rewatch the animated series. You'll have a better time doing that. Okay, and that was it for my video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like, maybe subscribe. Like I said, I'm gonna have more videos like this. I will try to have one Saturday morning comics video every other Saturday, so look forward to that. We'll have a lot to talk about, as you can see here. Again, Justice League Infinity, not really a recommend, but if you're a fan of the original animated series, I don't know, maybe check it out. That final issue, man. Batman, Wonder Woman, gorgeous stuff. Thanks again for checking out my video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.